Honestly, my worst nightmare has come true. Just not knowing, just waking up that morning and getting a call that your sister might be gone, and I just saw her not even 24 hours ago.
Deadly night of gun violence claims the lives of 3. Now families are left shaken. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I'm Jessica Gill.
And I'm Joe Chiodo. We will hear more from the family of one of the victims in just a bit. But first, in case you missed it, here are the details. 19-year-old Jaquila Foster and 24-year-old Letitia Fox both died as a result of an overnight shooting.
And as of today, Omaha police say 26-year-old Cameron Harris has also passed away as a result of his injuries. Chase Moffitt was at a news conference earlier this afternoon. He continues our complete coverage live.
Jessica and Joe, in fact, it took Chief Schmatter about 20 minutes to brief us on the latest in this investigation. He was poignant and to the point, in fact, going directly that this is gang-related activity. In fact, 4 of the victims are documented gang members, according to Schmatter. An overnight party described at an unoccupied home when the gunfire rang out. It's a scene as big as a party going on inside the time gunfire ripped through a crowd of 40 to 50 people at 3402 Parker Street earlier this morning, according to Omaha police. People were inside and outside the home. They were all sent fleeing. In the end, 19-year-old Jaquila Foster, 24-year-old Letitia Fox died on scene. And then just this afternoon, 26-year-old Cameron Harris would also pass away.
We could see the emotion, the tears in the victims' families and friends. And the pain in their eyes that we saw leads us and pushes us towards even more resolve in this matter.
Omaha Police Chief Todd Schmatter, surrounded by his executive command staff today, outlined what he called senseless and no regard for human life gang activity playing out in Omaha streets.
There were multiple shooters exchanging gunfire, and it is unknown at this time if any of the victims were intended targets or simply caught up in the gunfire.
But initially, the aftershock of the homicide rippled into what could be a large pool of witnesses to gather additional information from.
I realize the fear that you may have had and some intimidation that could have taken place there at the scene early this morning. Now that you are away from that scene and have an opportunity to be away from any intimidation, I'm asking you, for the sake of the community, to contact law enforcement.
And part of the investigation, because evidence will rely on bullet trajectory, the 2 bodies of Foster and Fox could not be moved at the scene.
I want the community to know the bodies were treated with dignity, respect, and they were out of view of the public's eye.
Now, the Omaha Police Department says it is coming off the heels of a year with the least amount of homicides in a decade. So faced with 3 more, the commitment remains to curb the violence.
And the emotion to resolve this and to prevent it from happening in the future needs to be directed right at the cause, and that is the shooters.
And in fact, Chief Schmatter mentioning one of the contributing factors to gun violence like we've seen over this weekend is something called straw purchases. Someone legally buys a gun and then turns it over to someone under the table, as it were, who otherwise would not be able to get a gun. Through burglaries, guns are also stolen and then on occasion shipped into the metro. Schmatter says he's cracking down on this type of activity. Reporting live with photographer Alex Hassel, I'm Chase Moffitt, WOWT 6 News.